Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, honorable ministers here present, captains of industry, chairman of the NESG and the board, welcome to the first policy dialogue of NESG, of NES 22. Let me very quickly welcome our moderators, and the two of them are made in Nigeria. The first, made here, processed in the diaspora, useful here. Kayode Akitemi, former GM Operations Channels, now the Chief Executive of GNEC Group, Media Group. Thank you very much. Even with the resource control cap, I welcome you. And surprisingly, the next one, you know internationally, anchor with CNN International, CNN Marketplace, Africa. You won't believe she's our daughter. Zain Ashai Ejiofor is here, also made here useful globally. Now she's waving like a politician. Those are our moderators. I'll hand over to them now.
Thank you so much for such a great introduction. So it's no secret that this 22nd Nigeria Economic Summit obviously comes at a troubling time. You know, I am originally from Nigeria, and I have spoken to people who are struggling right now. People who are worried about their children's future, people who are worried about losing their jobs, being made redundant, people who are not being paid, but yet who are still going to work every single day. And I think that it's important for me to make it clear that we know that not all of this is because of government policies. Some of it is clearly out of the government's hand, such as the falling price of oil. But a lot of this is due to decades and decades and decades of failed government policies. For example, overdependence on one commodity, on oil, overdependence on imports as well. But I think that my goal and Kayode's goal today is to, yes, we want to discuss the challenges, of course, but we really want to focus on the solutions. And that is why I'm so happy that we have our leaders, the Vice President, several ministers, to be able to hold them to account. And when they talk to us and when they give us our answers, I want them to not only just address me and address the audience, but really address ordinary Nigerians, especially the less fortunate among us who are suffering and who are worried about how they're going to make it through the month. Because that is who this recession is affecting, particularly those who are less fortunate. And with that, I want to hand it over to my colleague, Kayode.
Thank you very much. And it's a pleasure to be here this morning, or it's afternoon now. And just as you just said, Zain, a lot of Nigerians are struggling at this point in time. And it's not just those who are poor. There are also the rich who are struggling. There are bank managers, there are CEOs of companies who are crying because they see the business they've invested money in going to pieces and making people redundant. We want to address the issues, and please join me in welcoming the first of our panelists that we're going to welcome onto the podium here, and that is the Minister of State for Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika. Please, a big warm welcome for him. Oh, okay. I understand his name is just being removed. He's not going to be joining us anymore. So please join me in welcoming the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, whose ministry is definitely very important to the conversation here, Dr. Okechukwu Enelama. A warm welcome to someone who will be definitely talking about Made in Nigeria and the products that we are supposed to be adding value to, the Minister of Solid Mineral, Dr. Kayode Fayemi. Then, of course, I will invite the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mr. Audu Ogbe. Oh, I've just been told he's being excused. Okay, then our host as well, and that is the Budget and National Planning Minister, Senator Udo Doma. So I reckon that completes the panel, with a very rousing welcome to our very, very distinguished and highly respected the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Professor Yemi Osinbajo. So Zain,
Yes.
I had the first shot.
Thank you all so much for joining us. My first question goes to Mr. Vice President. So it's very clear that economically right now, Nigeria is limping. We have heard this administration talk many, many times about the importance of diversifying beyond oil, diversifying exports, and reducing the dependency on imports that this country has. With all due respect, and I'm sure a lot of people in the audience will know what I mean when I say this, Nigerians have heard this talk before. How can they be sure that they can really trust you this time?
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, everyone. I think that in the first place, we absolutely have no choice, and I think it's very important that we're left with absolutely no choice. Even if we did not want to diversify, we're left with no choice. I mean, it's very obvious there's no real option. And I think that what we've been trying to do so far is precisely to deepen the diversification. The Nigerian economy, in every real sense, is somewhat diversified. The question really is how deep that diversification is and how much of it really contributes to development of the economy in a very direct and positive way. For example, when you look at agriculture, and agribusiness generally, that's an area of strength for us, and at the moment, a lot of work is going on in agriculture. For example, we know that we need to be self-sufficient in rice, we need to be self-sufficient in maize, millet, tomatoes and all of that. Take rice, for example. We're investing heavily in rice production in several states, about 12 states that are known to be essentially major rice producing states. I was in Zamfara just last week, went to the markets, took a look around, looking at prices and all of that. Kebbi State is also doing very well in rice. We've moved just by improving seedlings, ensuring that we use improved seedlings and inputs such as fertilizer.